talk about the law. Vanessa Lane Jennings is in the studio. Vanessa is an attorney here in Ocala, and on this show, she talks about anything involving the law. If you've been in an accident, you're going through a divorce, you're going through a child custody challenge, I don't know what to say there, issue. The show is called Legal Lane, and the phone number to call the show is 622-9622. And of course, if you don't want to call a radio show to talk about something as personal as a legal issue, you can call Vanessa at her office. She's not there right now, but she will be back in 40 minutes or so, depending how fast she drives. The phone number over there is...
I do not drive fast.
804-0092 is Vanessa. We'll give you the number again. Good morning, Vanessa. How are you?
I am well.
Where
How's
are you?
everyone? I have no idea. I'm right
You look
here.
good in black.
Thank you. Because that's 95% of my wardrobe.
Is it really?
I'm a funeral director's daughter. It's 95% of my wardrobe.
Is that really why? You have
No,
all black? No.
but-
You just like the color?
Well, we always had to wear black things when we went
It's
to the
becoming
funeral.
on you.
Thank you.
Is that a good word, becoming?
Sure.
I like that word, becoming.
I like that word too.
It's becoming of you.
And then there's that.
The legal things in the news, you want to talk about any of them, or you want to stay away from them? The political junk.
Whatever you want to talk about.
Really?
I'll give you.
Well, let me tell you
answers,
the
or non-canned
the
answers.
Hillary Clinton story.
Okay.
This is what I'm going to tell you about it.
Okay.
I don't understand it. I don't understand it. Do you understand it?
What don't you understand?
I don't understand what the rhetoric is. The rhetoric says you did something wrong, and if it was somebody else, they would be in trouble. But since it's you, you're not in trouble. Or am I understanding it wrong? And I don't want to get into a political argument. I'm trying to hear it from a legal perspective. How do you do that? How does a judge say, or prosecuting attorney say, in your case, we look at it a little differently. Is that
Discretion.
Yeah. Do you have that? I mean, do
Yeah, prosecutors have that. It's called prosecutorial discretion.
Okay, that's what I don't understand.
Well, they look at the facts and circumstances. Because when you're a prosecutor, you're not. The bad thing is at times you're not even looking at did a crime occur, didn't occur. You do look at that, but sometimes you get past that. You go, okay, yes, a crime did occur. So the next question isn't, okay, well, let's charge, or what should we charge? It's, could we win it at trial? I guess the next question would be,
Could we win a trial? Yeah. Okay.
If we take this to trial, are we going to win? Because the burden's on the prosecutor. And if the prosecutor says, look, yes, a crime was committed. This is the crime that was committed, but there is no way on God's green earth that we're ever going to win at trial. Do you pump governmental resources into something you know you can't win?
Because in listening to the news, you can predict what the pundits are going to say. Because if they typically lean Republican, they're going to be against it. If they typically lean Democrat, they're going to be for the decision. Okay. And I'm not trying to go there. It's hard to not go there, and I don't want the listeners to be dragged into that either. But I was listening to a lady judge, who made a little video, and she said, I'm a Democrat, and I'm aghast at this decision. So I thought, this is interesting. A lady who identifies as a Democrat, but is aghast at the decision.
Right, because she's not looking at it as she's looking at it as a judge. She's not looking at it as a Republican judge or a Democratic judge or a Libertarian judge or
Oh, okay.
a Tory judge. I mean, you could, whatever
Well,
whatever her political, I'm going into England political parties,
Oh, okay,
whatever political
okay.
party she wants to be. She's not looking at that. She's looking at it surely from the fact of the matter that, constitutionally, did a crime occur? Or statutorily, did a crime occur? If it did, let's bring it before
And
judge.
was the crime the email use or the lying about the email use? The same thing with Bill Clinton when he went through his thing. What was the crime, having an affair with Monica Lewinsky, or was it lying about the affair?
Well, it wasn't so much the fact that he had an affair, because it's not a
It's not a law. I mean, it's not against the law.
Right, that's not. I mean, I'm sure on some books in some states somewhere, probably even Florida, up until a certain point, that was a crime, but it's not a crime that people are charged with in today's society. However, he perjured himself. He said in a forum, and we know that perjury in Marion County, everyone's acutely aware that perjury is a big deal. Look at Sheriff Blair.
Right.
So that's what they were looking at. You perjured yourself. So if you're going to perjure yourself, you need to be held, accountable.
But then because of Hillary Clinton's case and that they exonerated her, General Petraeus is now stepping forward, and he wants his case reopened because he feels that he was given a harsh sentence on something that he did, which was a lesser degree than Hillary Clinton did, and she's getting off scot-free.
Exactly, because that's what I would want to.
So
If I was him, or if I was his attorney, that's what I would go for.
So you
If
can't-
what's good for the goose is good for the gander. So if we're going to say this about her, we need to go back and look at everything.
and can you explain what double jeopardy is aside from the game? What does double jeopardy mean?
I was like, the game? Regular Jeopardy. I'm with you. Double Jeopardy is when when you're charged or gone after twice for the same exact offense.
Okay.
The example that I like to use, because it's one that everyone understands, is O.J. Simpson. O.J. Simpson was first looked at criminally. He went into the criminal courts, and they came back with not guilty. The glove didn't fit.
Right.
They didn't,
Right,
they
right.
acquitted. So at that point in time, he can even if they found that he did do it, he cannot. They can't go back and recharge him for that crime. They're done with the criminal. However, they can go after him civilly, which is what they did, and they actually found him to be liable under the civil case, and he had to pay money and all that to the family in restitution. And everyone was very confused as why he was going back to court after a jury found him not guilty.
Yeah.
So that's what double jeopardy is. It's in the same exact field. Criminal is different than civil, so you can take the same set of facts and circumstances to criminal court, to civil court, kind of. You're not going to go after the same exact elements or offense, but you're going to take the same facts and circumstances.
So using the Petraeus story, you can't be charged a second time, but you can go back to defend yourself a second time? I'm confused about that.
That's different. They're going back to reopen the case. Reopening the old case is different than being charged a second time for it. Because one is the government stepping in and saying, we're going to charge you
Okay.
twice for the same exact thing. The other one, it says, it was done wrong. It's like appealing, is what you're doing. It's like, okay, you've got it wrong. Let's go back and let's re-examine the facts.
Wow. What you do is so amazing to me because your position in every one of your clients' cases is on their behalf. So the client number A today could be the exact opposite of client number B tomorrow, and you have to defend both of them, even though it seems opposite on your end.
Absolutely, especially in family law when you're dealing with, mothers and fathers. So on one day you have the father has a totally different viewpoint of something and has his own. Fathers have a specific viewpoint 90% of the time. And I'm not saying every case is the same, but they're looking at it a little bit differently than a mother looks at it. Most mothers look at the case the same exact way. But then there's other times I represent the mother, and so I know what the father's thinking, but I'm still representing the mother. On the flip side, when I represent the father, I know what the motother's thinking, but I still represent the father. So
Right. Wow.
actually makes it easier because then you're able to navigate the waters a little bit better. But
If you would like to join in on this conversation, we would love to hear what you have to say out there. Listeners, the phone number here right now is 622-9622. Vanessa Lane Jennings is your expert here. She's an attorney here in Ocala, and she can answer your legal questions. And again, I say this quite frequently, that we have fun with Vanessa. We have formed a bond because we just have. And that makes us yuck it up, laugh, have fun. But you have something serious. We don't want you to not call just because of us having a good time. However, if it's too personal and you'd rather not be on the air with your question, or some things really take longer than what a radio show can handle, so then you would call Vanessa at her office, which is, hold on, I got it here, 804-0092?
that is correct.
And you have a phone call, so let's take that phone call. Thank you for calling. You're on the air with Vanessa.
Yes, good morning. Yeah, I'm not a lawyer, and I've watched a few lawyer shows. It's been my thought all along that O.J. was overcharged. That is to say, they were going first-degree murder, and they did not offer a lesser offense. And had they tried to prosecute it as a manslaughter case, they probably would have gotten a conviction. Just my opinion.
In most higher degree crimes, they have what are called lesser includeds. So what that means is even though you go for murder 1 or you're going for murder 2, depending on what state you're in, or premeditated murder versus depraved heart murder or manslaughter, there's lesser included in there, and you're able to, depending on what state you're in, they're included into that already. So you go for the higher one, but when the jury goes out, they're given jury instructions, and and those instructions are handed down by the state's Supreme Court, and they list out exactly what the lesser included crimes are of that. For example, in Florida, an aggravated battery, a lesser included is just simple battery. So while one's a felony and the other's a misdemeanor, if you don't think it rises to the level of a felony, the jury is able to come back with a simple battery because it's lesser included.
Yeah. I was watching that whole trial, and I don't recall that they offered the lesser included as a verdict to the jury. It's a long time ago. Maybe my memory has faded, but anyway, have a good morning.
You too. Thank you.
What is depraved heart murder?
Depraved heart murder, I was going to say it's my favorite type of murder, but I guess I should not phrase it in that.
Sounds like a book title.
Pay attention.
I should not phrase it in that way. I do not kill people, nor do I condone killing people. Depraved heart murder is when you do something with reckless abandonment that you know or should know that would lead to the death or injury of somebody, or like great bodily harm, which could end up causing death. For example, let's say you are in the middle of the woods and 100 feet in front of you is a train track. All right, and a train's going by, and it has the box cars, and the box cars are open, and you have a gun, and you're just playing in the woods and thinking nothing of it. Your desire is to see if you can get a bullet through one of those box cars. Now it's not a passenger train or anything else. They're just box cars, and from what you can tell, it looks to be an empty box car. But there's a hole. The train just keeps going by, and you shoot, and the bullet goes through the box car. But what you don't know is, in the one that it ends up going through, there's a homeless person, and that homeless person gets hit. Right then and there, that's depraved heart murder, because you're shooting a gun, or should have known that by shooting a gun at an unknown object, that someone could have gotten hurt if there was a person there.
Oh.
So while you didn't intend at all, there is zero intent. Your intent isn't to kill somebody or to hurt somebody. It is to do something that could hurt somebody, and you're doing it with reckless abandonment.
Oh.
Or reckless disregard to human life, depending on what state you're in.
Oh, gosh.
Wow.
That is something.
I'm not sure where the title comes from. Depraved heart, yeah.
Right, because your heart's depraved. You're just doing
Oh,
ghastly things.
like you're careless.
You're
Oh,
right.
okay.
The shooter has a depraved heart.
When